Hi everyone, it's Helen Horta here, founder of Form Help, and we are doing a smart traveller advice update for the following countries and islands. So we have here Chile, Solomon Islands, Philippines, Samoa, and we'll conclude with Albania. Okay, let's start with Chile. Now, this was updated on the 6th of June and it's still current as at today being the 7th of June, and it reads, Chile has revised its COVID-19 action plan, including the management of its borders. To enter Chile, you must have a valid visa prior to arrival, medical insurance, and a completed international travel affidavit. Now, it is recommended, but not mandatory, that you complete a COVID-19 PCR test result before you arrive and be fully vaccinated against COVID-19 with vaccines recognised in a Chilean mobility pass. So see the travel details below. Now, the Australian government does advise exercise a higher degree of caution in Chile due to the potential demonstrations, civil unrest and violence. And again, the advice levels exercise a high degree of caution in Chile. Now, if you scroll down below, there is more information there for you to read. And that is the latest travel advice updates from the Australian government for Chile. Next, we'll go to the Solomon Islands. Solomon Islands. Now, this was updated on the 6th of June and is still current as at today being the 7th of June. And it reads, international flights continue on a limited basis for approved passengers. Domestic passenger flights have resumed, and you still need to follow COVID-19 measures and see the travel information below. Due to community transmission of COVID-19, further curfews or lockdowns for Honiara and other places are possible, so closely monitor and follow the advice of local authorities. And the Australian government does advise reconsider your need to travel to Solomon Islands due to the impacts of COVID-19 and possibility of further civil unrest. And again, the advice levels, reconsider your need to travel to Solomon Islands. And if you scroll down below, there is more information there for you to read. And that is the latest travel advice updates from the Australian government for the Solomon Islands. Next, we'll go to the Philippines. Philippines. Okay, so this is updated on the 7th of June and is still current as at today being the 7th of June. Now, we now advise you exercise a high degree of caution in the Philippines overall due to crime and terrorism. Now, if you're fully vaccinated against COVID-19 with at least one booster, you don't need to undergo pre-departure COVID-19 testing. And if you aren't fully vaccinated with one booster, you must provide a negative COVID-19 RT-PCR test within 48 hours or a negative COVID-19 RAT test administered and certified by a healthcare professional within 24 hours to enter. Now, children may be exempt from this requirement, and if you're fully vaccinated, you can enter the Philippines without a visa or quarantine provided you meet specific requirements, and transit restrictions are in place between some international airport terminals. So follow the Philippines Department of Tourism for the latest advice, and you should also confirm the rules for your airline as it may vary between airlines. And the Australian government does advise exercise a high degree of caution in the Philippines overall due to crime and terrorism, and then higher levels apply in some other areas. And again, the advice levels exercise a high degree of caution in the Philippines. Do not travel to central and western Mindanao, including the Zamboanga Peninsula, the Sulu Archipelago, and the southern Sulawesi area, and then reconsider your need to travel to eastern Mindanao. Now, if you scroll down below, there is more advice there for you to read, and that is the latest travel advice updates from the Australian government for the Philippines. Next, we'll go to Samoa. Samoa. Now, this was updated on the 7th of June and it's still current as at today being the 7th of June. Now, Samoa is currently in COVID Alert Level 1 until the 28th of June. Guidance on restrictions under each COVID Alert level can be found on the Samoan government website. So see the travel information below. Samoan citizens, permit holders and approved contracted workers can now travel to Samoa. Weekly flights to and from Australia have been approved for June. Now, when boarding your flight, you'll need a legitimate vaccine certificate. You'll also need to show a negative COVID-19 PCR test within 48 hours or a supervised rapid antigen test within 24 hours of entering Samoa. And if you test positive on arrival to Samoa, you must self-isolate for 7 days. Samoa's borders will reopen to all passport holders from the 1st of August, and to receive information on current border settings, Australians can contact the Australian High Commission at this email, so appear.admin@dfat.gov.au. And the Australian government does advise reconsider your need to travel to Samoa due to the impacts of COVID-19. And again, those advice levels, reconsider your need to travel to Samoa. Now, if you scroll down below, there is more information there for you to read, and that is the latest travel advice update from the Australian government for Samoa. Lastly, we will conclude with Albania. And this was updated on the 7th of June, and it reads, all COVID-19 related travel requirements for entry to Albania have been lifted. Face masks must be worn indoors and on public transport. Follow the advice of local authorities and adhere to social distancing protocols. Now, the Australian government does advise exercise a high degree of caution in Albania due to the impacts of COVID-19. And again, the advice level, exercise a high degree of caution in Albania. Now, if you scroll down below, there is more information there for you to read. And that is the latest travel advice update from the Australian government for Albania. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Safe travels, have a blessed day, and take care wherever you are in the world. It's Helen Hortai, founder of Form Help, signing out. Bye.